shadow, and now Ukraine can use them without asking anybody's permission. This is a mighty signal to United States, as if they think that they cornered the world markets and they will tell anybody, you do this and you don't do that. It's similar to what's had happened to negotiations, so-called, with Canada. Canada just said to United States, go to hell, and never, ever even talk to us about anything. In the meantime, Canada signed a $20 billion contract with Germany to supply the gas to Germany. And the United States didn't even know about it. They learned just now from newspapers, I guess, what idiots they are. But however, what do you want from country? Let's see, who is in charge of economic policies of the United States? Oh, somebody, Scott Bessent. So interestingly enough, so what Scott Bessent exactly did, say 20, 25 years ago, until he was appointed to Trump cabinet, he ran a mutual fund. He ran the investment fund worth $5 million. And guess what? There was a participant, George Soros. 2 years later, it started 2001. 2 years later, they lost 90% of the money, and the investors grabbed the whatever remains 10% and ran. So he started again in 2015, yet another investment fund. $5 million, 2 years later, same result, 90% of the money lost, and investors grabbed the remaining funds and ran away. So this man, incompetent idiot, he is in charge of economic policies of United States. That's what Canada is dealing with. Or in charge of Canada is the Prime Minister Carney, who has a diploma from Harvard in jurisprudence and in economy, and he has a doctorate dissertation in Oxford, and he was a head of Bank of Canada, and he was a head of Bank of England. So he alone is worth 25 cabinets of Trump's put together, because they're all complete idiots, incompetent liars. That's all what they are. And I think Ukraine does very well on the one hand. Said, yeah, Trump, okay, you're right. You're the greatest thing since sliced bread. You're great, and so on. In the meantime, Ukraine now becoming the same as Carney now. He became a leader of the Western Europe and all freedom-seeking nations. So Zelensky and Ukraine now become a backbone of any plans to defend Europe from Russian evil. So now Ukraine is on top of everything. They have their own weapons. They have financial support from Europe, and nothing will stop them. Ivan, how would you comment on that?
Yeah, I agree with you, Sasha. And what is funny in this situation that yesterday in Kiev, there were a lot of European leaders and new British Prime Minister. It was his first foreign trip to Kiev, but there were no representative of the United States, Wittkov and Kushner, and according to the sources, they were afraid going to Kyiv because of security issues. They were not sure that Russia will not attack Kyiv these days. actually didn't stop European leaders, and they didn't stop British Prime Minister to come, but Steven Witkoff and the Kushner, they were just a little bit afraid.
But they don't have official status. They're private citizens, so anyone could come and just hit them in their face. And
they could buy regular tickets and just attend the celebration in Kiev as regular visitors. So there were really great security measures yesterday in the Kiev downtown. So I think that it would be totally secure. But today in Moscow arrived head of CIA, John Radcliffe, according to the latest data. And the United States unofficially asked Ukraine not to attack Moscow these days. So it's very funny situation. But
why
just
you would ask Putin not to attack Kiev? Why not?
I don't know.
Yeah, scared to death because of the nuclear warheads would fall on Washington, right?
It's harder to ask Putin to do something because there is an option that he will just ignore this. So that's why. Yeah, I brought you a really nice video for today. It's video from yesterday celebration of the Independence Day, and actually first in the history military parade of drones, which yesterday was in Kiev. So we can just watch it right now.
Thank you, Ivan. Great.
Сьогодні ми побачимо українську міць, те, чим ми захищаємо життя наших людей, те, що зараз робить цю війну особливою, і те, що дозволить Україні після цієї війни бути справжнім донором безпеки для своїх партнерів, для своїх друзів передусім. Beautiful video. I enjoyed it so much. Steve, what do you think about Ukraine prospects in war with Russia future?
Well, first of all, I wanted to just say that yesterday wasn't your show, but I do want to just say that before I answer your question, it's very emotional for me as an analyst to wish Ukrainians a happy Independence Day. But it's a reminder that even on this show and other shows, we could talk about the change in military strategy tactics. But one thing will never change is remembering the resilience of the Ukrainian people. The fact that 35 years ago, they won their independence in a free and fair election. And we have to think about the families that live in fear, the families that just want to live in freedom. And that's something that no political analyst can even question, because Ukraine has really proven how strong of a nation she is. And so Just want to say that. But from the outset, the way I look at it is, I think the video was really amazing, and the drone technology has really changed the dynamics of this war. Ukraine has exceeded our expectations of fighting Russia. I still think they need help with defense systems, deterrent systems, Patriot missiles, and they need more help from the United States. I think Europe has stepped up. I think the question is the U.S. just too overextended with wars in Iran and Ukraine and things like that? The second thing I would say is that Zelensky has even said that that peace is possible, diplomacy is possible between the United States and Europe and Ukraine, and it could include a ceasefire. But I think the question becomes, what are the security guarantees? Because you don't want to just stop war, like a pause, and then it begins again. Because peace is the plan, but is it realistic, or is Putin just going to keep fighting to the very end? Even though things aren't looking good for him in terms of a demoralized military, a hurting economy. But I think Ukraine needs security guarantees for their sovereignty and the ability to determine their own future. Also, I would like Ukraine to require more of the land back, but there's been rumors I've been hearing from other analysts that they might want to just stop the fighting where it's going on now, which means that a free Ukraine after this war, if it stops, would be smaller than the one before, which I don't think is fair.
Steve, with all due respect, I never heard from Zelensky anything about Ukrainian security guarantees for the last several weeks, not even once.
Yeah.
I don't think, first of all, the security guarantees is nothing but empty words. We all remember about the Budapest Memorandum, and we know that, well, it was a memorandum, but it was never became a treaty. And the question is whether when Americans signed that Budapest Memorandum, did they have intention to make it a treaty? And if not, then it was obviously a bamboozle for Ukrainians. And if yes, they did. So why didn't they ratify that right away? So it just shows another example of how you cannot trust American a single word, and the best way is not to deal with them altogether.
And and what I was trying to say before we go back to Ivan, I wasn't saying that security guarantees were coming from Zelensky's mouth. I'm just saying, as an analyst, that it's important for any peace deal for security to be a part of the problem, part of the solution. But I agree with you, Sasha. I think Zelensky's silent about it because he's probably quit believing it, and he probably thinks even any pause in war would just be a part-time pause or ceasefire, and then they begin war again. And that's just kicking the can down the road. So yeah, I agree. America's lost credibility. He's probably looking at it, to his advisors saying, I'm at a point now where I can't believe what they're going to do. If you're going to end this war, it's going to take leadership from the United States, leadership from Europe. Words are not enough. It's got to be actions. And I think the foreign policy of the United States, every nation in the world is really, really wondering, is America's word good anymore?
It's worth nothing. And by the way, Ukraine, I think Zelensky into something by talking about peace. He knows damn well that the real peace, the real guarantee of peace is possible only when Russian Federation will be taken apart from inside or outside or whatever, it doesn't matter, and Putin will be no longer in power. Zelensky knows that, but he cannot say it not to alienate his friends and the military suppliers or so on. So okay, so he's okay. Well, if there is a peace, I don't mind to have a peace. What peace? On what conditions? When? Nobody knows it. It's all like a part of mythology. There is nothing in works like peace between Russia and Ukraine. It will be war which will be decided on the front lines, and most likely with Russia's happened with what's happened to Germany at the end of First World War. There was not a single soldier from Entente who was on the soil of Germany, yet Germany capitulated. It couldn't continue the war. That will happen to Russia. Russia will not be able to fight the war when there are miles lines for gasoline, the food shortages, the economy is going apart. Wait another month or two. I don't think they have more than that left.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that the runway is running out, and there's even been speculation of, what is Putin's regime in danger? Would there be a coup? Who knows if these are just rumors rumbling, or is it just wishful thinking? I think what would a post-Putin Russia be like? I don't know. I mean, would it be the same? Would it be the emergence of a figure that would want to rebuild Russia? So, would come back to the West and say, hey, let's work together? I don't know.
Most likely there will be several republics. And I've heard just earlier today that Dagestan doesn't want to be a part of Russia anymore. And there will be several other republics, Tatarstan, maybe Bashkiria, maybe who knows what, maybe even Yakutia, maybe all Siberia would. I mean, why Siberia with all this wealth of minerals and huge territory? Why does it need Moscow? Is Ukraine threatening Siberia? Well, now, yes, because it's part of Russia. But if it wouldn't be part of Russia, then Siberia could live peacefully and trade with other countries and have much better way of life. What do you think, Ivan?
Hopefully, all those Russian occupied territories one day will decide to become independent. So there is even a popular joke in Ukraine that the first territory which decided to exit Russia will receive a special discount on future reparations towards Ukraine. So it's just a matter of time, but for that, Ukraine and Ukrainian allies, including the United States, must put consistent pressure towards Russia. And now we see that United States is busy with this war, stupid war in Iran, which actually makes Russia become stronger, because Russia trades weapons with Iran, provide technologies with Iran. Iran is paying with their own resources and technologies and probably some money, and it's a source of outcomes for Russia, first of all, and also Russia is beneficial in prices of oil increased after that war in Iran. So the situation for now is quite unpredictable, and without United States starting this war in Iran, probably Russian economy was already faced severe difficulties, but the increase of oil prices assisted Russia to stay a little bit longer and being longer to pay their provinces. First of all, Chechnya, which Russia pays great numbers of money in order to get support from Chechnya and Chechnya's local Tsar Ramzan Kadyrov. So it's unfortunately it's not an issue of the near future for us.
Yeah, right now, by the way, in case of, say, Dagestan, which is not going to be longer part of Russia, And let's see if Siberia would like to separate from Russia and become an independent country. This country will automatically avoid all the issue of reparations to be payable to Ukraine. So they will be in the best of both worlds. They are independent. They can trade with anybody. There will be no sanctions against these new countries, and they can do anything what they want. But we'll see. We'll see. I think Russia will probably go the way of Germany in at the end of First World War. And now I would like to ask you, Ivan, what do you think about this numerous joint ventures between Ukraine and the Western counterpart to produce new type of weapons? Especially England is very active in that direction, and there will be a lot of new weapons will be produced, and some of this production will be right in Ukraine, some other production in maybe Germany and maybe some other countries.
Yeah, it's a very good trend, and actually, what you said in the beginning of our show, that Great Britain provided Ukraine with the Storm Shadow missiles technologies in order for Ukraine to be able to use them in weapon productions. It's the situation opposite to the policy of the United States, because the United States is afraid of providing Ukraine with a license to produce Patriot PAC-3 missiles, because American companies, Lockheed Martin and Raytheon, I think, which owns that technologies, they're afraid that Ukrainians will manage to produce more efficient and cheaper missiles instead of those which are being produced now by United States and which cost like $3 million per one missile. But Great Britain is not afraid of that. It provides Ukraine with the technologies of Storm Shadow missiles, and starts joint ventures with Ukraine, and understands that Ukraine, which use these weapons not in military trainings mostly, like United States and some other countries, but in real heavy combat, in real day-to-day war, that Ukraine will be able definitely to improve these weapons, and Great Britain weapon manufacturers in the end will be beneficiary of that, because thanks to Ukrainian improvements, they will be able to produce more efficient weapons in the future, which will be more popular and which will attract more customers. And this is other way of policy. From one side, American companies which are afraid giving technologies to Ukraine because they're afraid that Ukraine will be able to produce more efficient weapons based on their technologies, and from the other side, Great Britain, which give Ukraine these technologies, and obviously they hope that Ukraine will be able to improve them and produce in joint ventures with Great Britain more efficient weapons. I think this is quite interesting situation, and more and more companies will choose the right way and become partner of Ukraine, because Ukraine is the real playground for all kind of modern weapons testing, and we can test them in real combat. We'll either in killing Russians or preventing Russians from killing Ukrainians, from destroying Ukrainian cities and infrastructure. And I think that there are maybe some smart people in Lockheed Martin and Raytheon, which at least will understand that if they will continue blocking that decision to provide Ukraine with license of producing Patriot missiles, then Ukraine, with the assistance of European companies, will just build some kind of other air defense systems, which obviously will be most effective than the Patriot missiles, and those companies, they will just lose their market in the future.
By the way, Storm Shadows were available for Ukraine back in 2023, 24 for sure. But yet there were a problem of using them against Russia because there was some American component in them. And Pentagon would say that we have to give you permission to use these weapons against Russia because of that American component. So what English people, they completely removed any and all American components from the Storm Shadow. So it's now free of any American components. And now Ukraine and Great Britain, they are free to decide when to use it, against whom to use it, and how far they could strike with this weapons. So this is very, very big development here. And remember that Ukraine is buying Gripens and Rafale, the French fighters, and Mirage. And America is losing all this, the weapon market to other manufacturers, specifically Europeans. And I think this is another continuation of Trump's policy, which is really bringing America down big time economically, financially, militarily. And there is only one hope that on midterm election that Democrats will destroy Republicans. Not that I'm a big fan of Democrats. There are shortcomings more than enough. But it's still better than what's Trump doing. That's for sure. Okay, guys, thank you so much for today's program. Looking forward to see you on Friday, same place, same time. Slava Ukraini. Thank you.
Героям слава. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.